Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Tracy's bombshell on Drew and Nina's affair, a game changer for custody decisions. General Hospital spoilers and updates tease that Tracy Quartermaine, Jane Elliott, might choose to take revenge on Drew Cain, Cameron Matheson, and Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros. Will Tracy ultimately reveal the romantic entanglements of the partners amidst all the custody chaos? Recommended. What is this? Tracy and Ned sat on the intel, Tracy wanting to save it for leverage. Tracy and Ned Quartermaine, Wally Kurth, had previously chosen to keep this secret under wraps, as Tracy intended to use it as a bargaining chip against Nina at some point. Get updates on the latest General Hospital news straight to your inbox. Use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. However, it seems that Tracy might reconsider that strategy in favor of seeking some serious revenge. Drew has already provided Tracy with ample motivation to want to ruin his life, particularly after he framed her for the drugging incident. Tracy is also quite displeased with Nina, especially since Nina is siding with Willow Corinthos, Kaylee McMullen, in this custody battle. Once Tracy learns about Nina revealing the paternity of Sasha Corbin's Sophia Matson baby to Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst, things could really escalate. Tracy won't like the repercussions the paternity reveal will have on Michael's custody case. While Tracy might feel relieved that the truth about Sasha's actual baby father is finally revealed, she is unlikely to appreciate the repercussions this has on Michael Corinthos' Rory Gibson's case. Tracy could become infuriated by the circumstances that triggered Sasha's premature labor and may begin to believe that Nina should face consequences. Ultimately, the desire for revenge might outweigh her need to maintain that leverage. As per GH spoilers, Drew is also expected to take action to disrupt Michael and Willow's efforts for a peaceful resolution during the week of June 9-13. This could further provoke Tracy and lead to a shocking revelation, one that could shatter Willow's heart and leave her seething with anger. What is this? Drew and Willow's win, Tracy's revenge. There are several scenarios to ponder if Tracy truly intends to unveil Drew and Nina's past romance. To begin with, Tracy might make sure that the details of those encounters are revealed in court prior to the ruling. This could strengthen the claim that Drew is a secretive master manipulator who only acts in his own interest. Conversely, there's a chance that Willow could achieve a court victory, and Tracy certainly can't allow that to happen because Michael will lose his children and Drew is unsafe. If that happens, Tracy would likely be poised for revenge, as she certainly wouldn't allow Willow and Drew to escape to DC for their fairy tale ending. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with GH right now. Come back here often for General Hospital spoilers, news, and updates. What is this? GH spoilers, Tracy's bombshell on Drew and Nina's affair, a game changer for custody decisions. Just when you thought poor Charles had run out of secrets, schemes, and salacious scandals, along comes a Tracy Quartermaine-sized grenade that could blow the entire town sky high. In a move only she could orchestrate, the formidable Quartermaine matriarch has uncovered a bombshell that could alter the fates of several key families. An affair between Drew Cain and Nina Reeves. Yes, you read that right. And while whispers of betrayals are nothing new in Port Charles, this particular revelation isn't just juicy, it's strategically devastating. Because in a town where children are always caught in the crossfire, this affair could have one of the biggest ripple effects yet, a dramatic shift in the custody battle over Wiley and Amelia. So, how did Tracy get the dirt? What does this mean for Willow, Carly, Sonny, and even Michael? Let's dive into the full fallout of Tracy's game-changing bombshell. Tracy the mastermind, how she discovered the affair. Tracy Quartermaine didn't earn her reputation as a dangerous strategist by accident. While others squabble over corporate boardrooms or fight in the shadows of Corinthos crime, Tracy plays chess while everyone else plays checkers. Though when she started noticing unusual patterns, Drew disappearing from ELQ meetings, Nina's mysterious absences from Crimson, and a quiet tension whenever the two were in the same room, her alarm bells rang. And Tracy did what she does best. She dug. Quietly, efficiently, and mercilessly. Who strategically placed bribes and overheard conversation at the Metro Court and a cleverly intercepted hotel room keycard later, Tracy had what she needed. Not just hearsay, evidence. Photos, logs, voicemails. Proof that Drew and Nina had been engaging in a covert romantic affair during the months following Drew's prison release when he was supposed to be mending fences with Carly. According to Tracy's intel, the affair began when Drew and Nina found themselves alone on a Crimson project. Tensions turned confessions, turned kisses, turned rendezvous. It wasn't just one night, it was a pattern. And now Tracy has turned that pattern into power. Carly blindsided again. For Carly Spencer, betrayal is practically a love language, but this one cuts especially deep. After everything Nina did, reporting Drew and Carly to the SEC, manipulating her way into Sonny's life, becoming Willow's mother, now Nina has been sleeping with Drew? Carly is no stranger to romantic betrayal, but the idea that Drew, her steady post-Sonny, post-Jason rock, would be involved with Nina of all people feels like a Shakespearean-level insult. Sources close to Carly suggest she's been reeling since Tracy dropped the news. Tracy, of course, didn't tell her out of kindness. She told her out of strategy. You always think you're in control, Tracy reportedly said, but your house is made of glass, and I just threw the first stone. Expect Carly to confront Drew in a fiery showdown, one that could end their romance for good, but heartbreak isn't the only consequence, because Carly isn't just a scorned lover, she's a mother. And that's where things get messy. The custody fallout, Wiley and Amelia at the center. Let's not forget what's really at stake, the children. Wiley and Amelia, the grandkids at the center of almost every power play in Port Charles, are about to become collateral damage in a battle that now stretches across families, courtrooms, and moral lines. Here's where it gets complicated. Michael and Willow have full custody of Wiley and co-parenting agreements with Nina, who's been trying to repair her image and build a bond with her grandson. Amelia, Carly and Drew's daughter, is still an infant, and her legal situation is relatively simple for now. But now that Nina and Drew's affair is public, or about to be, everything changes. Nina's already on shaky ground with Michael and Willow. Willow's slowly warming to her biological mother, but trust is still fragile. Learning that Nina betrayed Carly, and by extension betrayed the family again, could send Willow straight back into no-contact territory. And what happens if Willa files for full, exclusive custody of Wiley with no visitation for Nina? She might win, especially now. As for Amelia, if Carly and Drew's relationship implodes and the affair gets dragged into family court, custody of their daughter could be called into question. Carly could argue that Drew's moral judgment is compromised. Drew might fire back with claims of parental alienation. In other words, Tracy's Bombshell could create two full-blown custody wars, and she knows it. Willow's breaking point. For Willow, this may be the final straw. She's spent months trying to find peace. She survived cancer. She gave Nina a second chance, despite every voice in her life telling her not to. And now she finds out her mother, who swore she wanted to be a better person, cheated with her husband's uncle and her stepmother's partner. It's almost poetic how tragically twisted it is. Sources close to Willow suggest she won't take this betrayal lightly. She may not explode in public, but in private, she's reportedly heartbroken and done. She'll likely cut ties with Nina once and for all, and may even petition the court to remove Nina's visitation rights to protect Wiley's emotional well-being. It's a cold, calculated move. But in this war, feelings don't win battles. Strategy does. Sonny's wrath. Sonny Corinthos may have washed his hands of Nina romantically, but he's never fully released his protective instincts. Learning that Nina has betrayed Carly yet again, especially by hooking up with Drew, could push Sonny back into full mob boss mode. He doesn't like being played, and he certainly doesn't like Drew Kane, a man who's hovered close to Carly and never quite earned Sonny's full trust. Sonny might use this opportunity to finally settle scores. With Drew, with Nina, with anyone who threatened the stability of his fractured family. Don't be surprised if we see a confrontation between Sonny and Drew at the gym, the Metro Court, or even in a dark alley. Because when Sonny's honor is challenged, he rarely walks away quietly. Legal maneuvering begins. The courtroom drama is only beginning. Expect Diane Miller to be retained by Carly, Martin Gray to circle Nina like a vulture, and Alexis Davis to offer guidance to Willow as this web of betrayal spirals into legal chaos. Custody lawyers, character witnesses, background checks, psychological evaluations. Tracy's revelation has turned personal relationships into potential evidence, and if any of these cases make it before a judge, Port Charles may be in for one of the most explosive legal showdowns in years. Will Drew admit to the affair? Will Nina plead for mercy? Will Michael and Willow finally draw a permanent boundary? And will Carly, in the ultimate act of revenge, try to strip both Drew and Nina of parental rights? The wheels are already in motion. Tracy's endgame. Of course, the big question remains, why did Tracy do this? Howard, Tracy is never without motive. Exposing the affair does more than wreak havoc on her rivals. It allows her to reassert control at ELQ by weakening Drew's credibility, strengthen her grip on Brooklyn and Ned, who are caught in the family crossfire, push Carly out of the family circle altogether, one less threat to the Quartermaine dynasty. Tracy is a master of the long game, and this move, it's checkmate. What happens next? The aftermath of this revelation will be explosive and far-reaching in the coming weeks. Watch for Willow and Michael to reassess every boundary with Nina and possibly file legal motions to cut ties permanently. Carly and Drew's relationship to crash and burn, potentially opening the door for someone else to step back into Carly's life. Sonny to issue one of his famous ultimatums to Drew, to Nina, or both. Tracy to continue pulling strings behind the scenes, ensuring ELQ and the Quartermaines come out on top. This isn't just gossip. It's a power shift. And in Port Charles, where family means everything and betrayal means war, this scandal could redefine the entire landscape. One thing is certain, nothing will ever be the same again. Tracy exposes Drew and Nina's shocking secret affair. Could it cost them everything in court? Port Charles just got a whole lot hotter, and not in a good way. In a bombshell revelation that's set to send shockwaves through the hallowed halls of the Quartermaine mansion and beyond, General Hospital's most cunning grand dame, Tracy Quartermaine, has dropped a secret so scandalous it could upend lives, shatter alliances, and destroy reputations. Yes, you read that right. Tracy has just exposed an affair between Drew Kane and Nina Reeves, and if what she's claiming holds water, the consequences could be catastrophic. The stakes, custody, credibility, and careers. Let's dig into what went down, what this means for everyone involved, and why Tracy's timing might be more calculated than we ever imagined. A scandalous secret comes to light. It all began with what seemed like a routine Quartermaine brunch, mimosas, mild bickering, and thinly veiled threats. But no one was prepared for Tracy's shocking outburst, which silenced even Olivia and Monica. With a smirk worthy of a Bond villain and a voice laced with venom, Tracy stood up and said, "I hope you all enjoyed your croissants because what I'm about to say will ruin your appetites. Drew and Nina are having an affair." Gasps echoed throughout the room, a fork clattered to the floor, and Drew, mid-sip of his black coffee, choked so hard Brooklyn had to slap his back. Nina, of course, turned ghost white. But the question on everyone's mind wasn't just, is it true? It was, why now? The web Tracy's been weaving Longtime GH fans know Tracy Quartermain doesn't make moves unless she's got the chessboard mapped out 5 steps ahead. She's the queen of strategic reveals, and this one might be her most devastating yet. So what's her motive? Sources close to Tracy say she's been furious at Drew for his increasing distance from the Quartermain family business, and even more irate at Nina's perceived interference in ELQ's affairs. Word is, Tracy's been gathering intel for weeks, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And strike she did, just as Drew and Nina were quietly exploring joint custody options for Charlotte, the daughter Nina helped raise during her time with Valentine and whom Drew had bonded with in the fallout of Scout's custody case. Tracy's timing wasn't a coincidence, it was a power play. What we know about the alleged affair. Though neither Drew nor Nina has admitted anything, the signs have been there for those paying close attention. The private meetings. Drew and Nina were spotted at the Metro Court restaurant more than once, seated in a back booth, leaning in close. While they claimed it was about business, there were whispers about intense eye contact and nervous laughter. The ELQ files leak. Documents from Drew's private folder mysteriously made their way into Nina's hands weeks ago. At the time, it was chalked up to a digital glitch. Now, not so much. The hallway hug Ava Jerome allegedly caught the two in an embrace backstage at the Crimson offices. She didn't say anything. Until now, Ava's tune has suddenly changed and she's telling friends she should have spoken up. The timing, with Carly out of town tending to family business, Drew and Nina suddenly seemed to have more free time. Coincidence? Or opportunity? Carly's reaction, a fury unleashed. Carly Spencer returned to Port Charles just hours after Tracy's nuclear reveal. And let's just say she didn't walk in quietly. Sources at Kelly's say Carly cornered Drew in the parking lot, slapping him with a verbal tirade that could peel paint off the walls. "How dare you betray me like this? After everything we've been through," she reportedly screamed. But the real dagger came later when Carly visited Nina at Crimson. Eyewitnesses describe a tense confrontation filled with icy stares, trembling hands, and one particularly savage quote, "You destroyed my family once, but this time you might have destroyed your own." Legal fallout, custody battles take a turn. As if emotions weren't running high enough, the revelation of the affair could have serious legal implications. Drew has been fighting for shared custody of Scout, his daughter, with Sam McCall. The court had been leaning in his favor due to his stable job, home, and morally sound lifestyle. But now, Sam's attorney has already filed a motion to reassess Drew's parental fitness based on recent developments suggesting potential instability and poor judgment. And Nina isn't off the hook either. Though she's not Charlotte's biological mother, her standing in Valentine's world and even her rights to visit Wiley, her grandson, through Nellie could be threatened. Willow Corinthos, who had just begun to repair her fragile relationship with Nina, is reportedly livid. "She's done. I can't keep forgiving this woman," Willow allegedly told Sasha during a tearful lunch at Perks. Valentine's response, a cold shoulder. Valentine Cassadine, ever the enigma, has kept unusually quiet, but according to insiders at GH, he's pulled back from both Nina and Drew. "There's no trust left," one source close to him said. Charlotte, meanwhile, is said to be confused and upset, especially after overhearing a tense call between Nina and Drew. If Nina loses Valentine's trust, she may lose access to the child she still considers her daughter. Tracy's power grab, what's her endgame? So where does this leave Tracy? Right where she wants to be, in control. With Drew's credibility questioned and Nina on the outs with half the town, Tracy is maneuvering to take back control of ELQ, possibly installing Brooke Lynn as the new face of the family business. She's also rallying support from Ned, Olivia, and even Michael, who now sees Nina as a liability to the Corinthos name. And if Tracy has her way, the Quartermain Empire may soon be back in pure family hands, free of outsiders. Could this affair actually be real? Here's the wild card. What if Tracy's not exaggerating? What if Drew and Nina really are involved romantically? Insiders speculate the two did share a kiss during a late-night ELQ meeting, and things may have progressed further. Some claim Drew has been confiding in Nina more than Carly lately, that he feels seen by her, that she gets the weight of trying to be perfect for everyone. And Nina, still reeling from her estrangement with Sonny and rejection by Willow, might have found solace in Drew's strength and quiet understanding. If this relationship is real and not just a fling, it could spell even more chaos in the months to come. Social media meltdown. Fans react. The soap world is on fire. Drew and Tracy the Snitch are trending on Soap Talk, with fans divided between outrage and excitement. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm Team Tracy. This drama is juicy. At Soap Queen 92. Drew would never cheat. Tracy's just stirring the pot again at GH for life. Nina again. Does she just have a homewrecker clause in her contract? At Port Charles T. One fan even created a meme showing Tracy in Game of Thrones armor, captioned, "She came, she saw, she destroyed." What happens next? The fallout is only beginning. Here's what we could see in upcoming episodes. Carly and Sam team up. The two exes might find themselves on the same side for once. Drew's custody hangs in the balance. Will the court strip him of rights over Scout? In a spiral, could this public shaming push her over the edge? Tracy's next move, with this power play a success, what else does she have up her sleeve? A shocking pregnancy? Rumors are swirling that Nina may discover she's pregnant, just as Drew tries to win Carly back. If true, it could blow this scandal wide open. Final thoughts. Tracy's legacy grows. Tracy Quartermain didn't just stir the pot, she flipped the whole kitchen. Her reveal of Drew and Nina's alleged affair is the kind of General Hospital moment that will live in infamy. True or not, the accusation alone has fractured families, broken trust, and shifted alliances in ways no one saw coming. And in classic Tracy fashion, she did it with a smirk and a martini. So what's next for Port Charles? If this is just the beginning, we're in for one hell of a summer.